Imagine waking up one morning with no memories, no beliefs, no shame, no inherited morality, no idea of what it means to be a man or a woman. Would you become the same person you are today? Or are you simply the product of everything society has quietly taught you to believe? Yorgos Lanthimos' Poor Things is often described as a surreal comedy, a feminist fantasy, or a bizarre love story. But beneath its strange humor and dreamlike visuals lies something far more profound. It is a philosophical experiment, an experiment that asks one of the oldest questions in human history: how much of who we are truly belongs to us? Bella Baxter enters the world with the body of an adult, but the mind of a child. She knows nothing about manners, relationships, ambition, morality, or shame. Every idea that most of us accept without question is completely foreign to her. And because of that, Bella becomes the perfect mirror. She doesn't simply reveal who she is, she reveals who everyone else is. At first glance, Bella appears to be the freest character in the film. She says whatever she thinks. She asks uncomfortable questions. She refuses to hide her curiosity. She experiences the world directly instead of filtering it through social expectations. Most viewers see this as rebellion. But perhaps rebellion isn't the right word, because Bella isn't breaking society's rules. She doesn't even know those rules exist. And that difference changes everything. To understand why, we need to turn to the French philosopher Michel Foucault. When people hear the word power, they usually imagine governments, prisons, or dictators. Foucault believed modern power works very differently. The most effective form of power doesn't force people to obey. It teaches them to obey themselves. From childhood, we learn invisible rules: how to sit, how to speak, when to laugh, what to desire, what is considered respectable, what is embarrassing, what is normal. Eventually, these rules become so deeply rooted that we mistake them for our own thoughts. We stop asking why. We simply perform them. According to Foucault, this is how society produces what it calls a normal person. Not through violence, but through normalization. Bella has escaped this process. She has never been trained to perform normality. She doesn't understand why certain topics are considered inappropriate. She doesn't understand why people lie to appear polite. She doesn't understand why desire should be hidden behind layers of etiquette. To everyone around her, this makes her seem strange. But perhaps the real question isn't why Bella seems unusual. Perhaps the question is why everyone else behaves so predictably. One by one, every character attempts to educate her. Godwin wants to shape her through science. Duncan wants to shape her through pleasure. And others try to shape her through morality, marriage, wealth, or social status. Each believes they are helping Bella become civilized. Yet from another perspective, they are all trying to teach her the same thing: how to become socially acceptable. This is exactly what Foucault meant when he argued that power is productive. It doesn't merely prohibit, it creates identities. It creates expectations. It creates the invisible boundaries that define who we believe we should become. Bella's innocence threatens everyone around her because she unknowingly exposes these invisible boundaries. She reminds us that many of the rules governing our lives were never chosen. They were inherited. Bella never declares war against morality. She does something far more unsettling. She asks why. Why should this be shameful? Why must this be forbidden? Why is one way of living considered respectable while another is condemned? She does not reject values simply because they are old. She refuses to accept them without understanding them. And perhaps that is the film's first great lesson. Freedom does not begin when we break society's rules. Freedom begins the moment we dare to ask where those rules came from. Yet Bella's journey is not only philosophical, it is deeply psychological. And to understand its final destination, we must turn to Carl Jung. Unlike Foucault, Jung was less interested in society than in the hidden landscape of the human soul. He believed that every human life is a journey toward becoming one's authentic self. Not the version accepted by society, but the person hidden beneath every expectation. Jung called this lifelong process individuation, the path toward the self. At the beginning of the film, Bella sees the world with complete wonder. Nothing is ordinary. Nothing is taken for granted. Every experience feels new. In Jungian psychology, this resembles the archetype of the divine child, the child who approaches existence with curiosity rather than certainty. Most adults lose this way of seeing. Life teaches us to replace curiosity with routine, wonder with certainty, questions with habits. Bella has not yet learned that transformation, and perhaps that is why everyone around her finds her so unsettling. She reminds them of something they buried long ago. The ability to encounter the world as if seeing it for the first time. But remaining a child is not the goal. Bella's innocence alone is not wisdom. She must encounter suffering, love, cruelty, loss, poverty, power. Only through these experiences does she begin to understand both the beauty and the darkness of human existence. Jung believed that genuine maturity does not come from avoiding life's darker realities. It comes from facing them without allowing them to destroy who we are. Bella does not emerge from her journey untouched. She emerges transformed, not because society has successfully shaped her, but because experience has allowed her to shape herself. That is the difference. Society demands conformity. Life offers understanding. Bella chooses understanding. Perhaps that is why the final scenes feel strangely hopeful. Bella does not return to the innocence with which she began, nor does she become another obedient member of society. She discovers something far more difficult. She becomes herself. In the end, Poor Things is not asking whether Bella can fit into the world. It asks whether the world deserves someone like Bella. Perhaps civilization is not measured by how well we follow its rules, but by our willingness to question them. Perhaps freedom is not the absence of society, but the courage to examine the stories society has written for us, before deciding which ones truly belong to us. And perhaps Bella Baxter's greatest achievement is not that she escapes the expectations of others, but that she never allows those expectations to become the boundaries of her soul. Because sometimes, the most revolutionary act is not changing the world. It is refusing to let the world decide who you are.